This is what Jaguar Wright had to say about 50 Cent's documentary.
It was done too well. It left out too many things.
So can you speak on Curtis Jackson? 50 Cent said that this is the first one.
I'm
He said
sure.
that there's hundreds of hours of more footage.
I'm sure. There was hundreds of hours of that was confiscated from all of Diddy's homes in that HSI raid that never made it to the trial. I wonder where it made it to.
And the real reason why Jaguar Wright refused to join his Netflix documentary is even more shocking. Gene Deal, the man who knew every secret Diddy was trying to hide, was also not a part of 50 Cent's documentary. Both Jaguar and Gene Deal are in talks with 50 Cent to be part of season 2, and we've got all the details, starting with why Gene stepped away from what he says was a trap.
While I'm not in the thing, the lady was talking greasy to me. She had no right to talk greasy to me, and then she told me that 50 didn't have the power to do anything, but they using his name to like push the whole documentary. And that's what it was about.
Let's start from the beginning. A month after Diddy was arrested back in September of 2024, 50 Cent and Netflix announced that they were working on a documentary that had never before seen footage of Diddy and was going to expose all of Diddy's lies. 50 promoted the documentary, and according to some of his interviews at the time, he had been collecting evidence for years.
Speaking of, in particular, Netflix docuseries that you've been working on, Diddy Do It.
Right.
You've been saying for years that you feel you knew Diddy's character.
Right.
Yet you said you weren't a part of that lifestyle, you weren't going to the parties. So what makes you so absolutely sure that these kinds of allegations that we've seen against him are true?
Well, I'm surprised by the allegations, as surprised as everyone else is. Like, I didn't make the allegations, I didn't tell people to say these things. It comes out, I see it in the news like everyone else, but I did feel uncomfortable with the way you represent the idea of going to these projects.
To come party with me.
Yeah, and then that swayed me away from it, just that alone.
So you didn't realize the...
As much stuff was coming, like when you see, I seen today, it was allegations of 3 men that said he drugged them, and it's a long time, to be honest with you. Like, when people don't remember being violated for 20 years.
Now, 50 Cent knew that the one person who had the most amount of evidence against Diddy was Gene Deal. Gene was with Diddy for decades, and he had photographs, witness statements, and even video footage to back up everything he was saying. 50 wanted Gene in his documentary and was even posting clips of Gene Deal on his Instagram for years. He called Gene to try and convince him.
A lot of people want to know why you wasn't in it, man.
Well, first and foremost, you know, I thought I was gonna be in the documentary at first until I started talking to that director. I think her name is Stapleton. I don't know her name. I don't know, man. Me and 50 talked like 45 minutes. The producers had been calling me and everything. So this one night, 50 called me up, and you know they got him on the phone. Me and him was just talking. We was talking about old time down with Black Hands, sit down with, you know, with Puff Kids, the whole Puff situation, and this documentary that he's gonna be doing. You know what I'm saying? So I told him that I was going to, you know, have Kirk and Tim. Kirk would be the one who talk about the business part of it. Tim would be the one who talk about the growing up phase with Diddy and everything, like, and over there working in the record industry with him and stuff like that. They was like family. And I was gonna talk about, you know, the street stuff, what was going on with Bad Boy, you know, with the security, with Wolf, with the City College, with, you know, the time that I knew about when I was with him up until about early 2004, something like that. But basically the streets, and then the traveling with him and the atmosphere and everything, and then go back into the Notorious Big stuff with the Tupac and the whole 9 yards, all the stuff that I knew, you know what I'm saying? So we was talking, and he sounded like, yo, listen here, they gonna spare no expense with this whole documentary. So I said, all right, cool.
50 was ready to pay Gene Deal whatever he needed, and all of this was because he knew just how credible Gene really was. Gene got everything he had ready and even called Kirk Burroughs and some of the other music executives that had been wronged by Diddy. He was making sure that 50 had everything he needed. To finalize his role, Gene called the producer, and that's where he realized that 50 was actually being tricked. Netflix was using his image to push the docuseries and had no real intention of actually putting out the truth.
And then she was calling me like I was lying. I was like, yo, who do you think you talking to? You know what I'm saying? And she was talking about, there's no way nobody paid. Nobody what? I say, first of all you people come with these documentaries and stuff, the first thing you tell me, y'all tell these people out here that y'all don't pay, and y'all pay. If you can make a picture look like $10,000, $15,000, you know what I'm saying? You can sit here and tell me that you're gonna pay me for my time sitting right down here with y'all. You understand? So then, one thing led to another, and I was like, all right, well then, F you, I spoke to 50, and then she said, 50? And this is exact words that came out her mouth. 50 does not determine what goes in and go out of this documentary. And he definitely don't pay, he determine what somebody get paid. It's not his documentary like that. I was like, oh, so if it's not his documentary and I spoke to him like that, I don't need to be doing nothing with you because I'm doing this on the strength of him. But you gonna pay me if I do it. So it went back and forth, you know what I'm saying, for a little bit. And then they had Kirk Burroughs giving me calls and everything like that. What are you calling me for? You know what I'm saying? I'm not, get out of here. I know what kind of dude you is anyway. Me and you cool and everything, Kirk, but don't call me about no business with this stuff like that. And then what I found out is that he was making a deal, cutting a deal for himself as well as Tim.
It wasn't about the money, it was about backing up 50 Cent and what he was saying. Once Gene realized that this documentary was just a money grab for Netflix, he stepped away. The real stories were never told, and as always, the victims were ignored. This is why 50 is working on a second season that he's going to release on YouTube. 50 doesn't trust Netflix to get the job done anymore.
Oh, you seen this new interview by 50 that went viral where he revealed that he still got unreleased footage?
I seen an interview about he said that he had a lot of footage had to be down. The documentary had to be downsized. You understand? I don't really believe that because a documentary is a documentary, and they could have had 45 minutes. They could have had an hour. To each one of those. You understand? They left out certain things. He said they even left out the one about Sarah Chapman. You understand? And for whatever reason, he probably left out a lot of other different stars too. Situations that they could have spoke about. You understand? I have a problem with the documentary, and I'm just gonna let you know that the reason I have a problem with the documentary is that they know that they took my idea. You understand? They know that when I came to them, I laid out what they should do and how the documentary should be. You understand? She can say whatever she want to say. I talked to those producers before I even talked to her. They wanted to know what I had, what I was bringing, my pictures, all that stuff like that. And I told them about me, Tim, and Kirk.
Gene respects 50 because 50 doesn't lie or manipulate like Diddy. 50 was only in this for the truth. Freddie P, a major player who first broke the news that Diddy's sons were also involved, actually stood up for 50 Cent. Freddie was called by the producers and also talked to 50 Cent, and that's when he realized that 50 was the only person on that team who cared about the victims.
But what Fifth was doing was, he wasn't budging. I give him credit for that, you know what I'm saying? They're like, hey man, it wasn't even about the money. It was basically a response from his team, basically like, listen, we doing this on the strength of, we want people to get their story out. We want people who really was affected by him to tell their story. We don't want to base this on money. If we base this on money, then it kind of sucks down, you know what? So a lot of people, when you see them telling their stories on that DVD, that's why I give the authentication of it is so. He made sure that you was only here to, if you want to tell it, tell it. I ain't trying to put nothing in your pocket. I ain't trying to incite you or coerce you to tell nothing against this man that didn't happen. If you gonna tell it, tell it. If you got something to say and you really want the world to hear it, say it. I'm not gonna pay you extra to do it, and I gave him respect for that. And basically, they were basically like, man, this is not money motivated. You know, we're not moving numbers around just so people can come talk.
And as for Jaguar Wright, she actually thinks that the documentary is full of lies. She refused to be a part of whatever Netflix was putting out because she knew that the industry executives would never put out anything that could hurt them. Once Jaguar actually saw the documentary, all of her fears were confirmed. Diddy's criminal friends weren't mentioned once. Clive Davis, Jay-Z, Oprah, none of these names were mentioned.
The story isn't over. I agree. Like, that's the thing. The story's not even being told. Because in order to tell the actual whole story, you would have to include everyone that is involved. But no, this is about saving the industry and blaming it all on Diddy. Saving the industry and blaming it all on Diddy. Okay, Diddy's going to jail. He's going to do his time. I don't know what that appeal is looking like right now. Because see, the one thing that all of this documentary shit is doing is definitely fucking up his possibility for an appeal to get out early. Especially with the judge and them and the appeal board having to look at the footage of him sitting there with Mark Agnifilo, pretty much working on how to fix the trial.
And for him to be watching the feds watching him.
Yeah, filming the feds. Watch.
Filming.
At this point, Diddy is just a scapegoat for the rest of the industry. They're blaming him for everything and trying to say that they weren't responsible for any of it. The documentary didn't discuss any of this, and it never looked at the most important question of all. If Diddy was being investigated for RICO, where were his co-conspirators?
They did what they needed to do in this documentary. The whole objective of this documentary was to blame it all on Diddy. The devil made me do it. Blame it all on Diddy. And the rest of the industry is nothing like this. Like when Curtis Jackson sat there in his interview with Robin and sat there and said, I did this because I don't want people thinking that the hip hop community is okay with this kind of behavior. I don't want them thinking that, we're just going to be silent while all of this is going on. Like, we're okay with this kind of behavior. And my thing is huh? So now you speaking for all of hip hop, and all of hip hop is uncomfortable with this. Meanwhile, you got people like Ja Rule who, on the low key, allegedly, Gene Deal has exposed for having his own nude tryst freak-offs with Diddy.
Jaguar believes that if the complete list of everyone involved with Diddy ever came out, it would destroy the entertainment industry. How is it possible that Diddy used hundreds of victims throughout his career, but no one around him knew? Like, do you really expect us to believe that Diddy was doing all of this alone?
If the complete and utter truth comes out, three things happen. The entertainment industry collapses completely. Millions, possibly billions of advertising dollars don't get made. People go broke. Companies go under. That's why they hate me. Not because I'm telling the truth on people, because I'm telling the truth about the system. And I'm showing people the reality that the only thing that matters is that dollar. These entities, these companies, they don't care about none of these people. They don't care about none of these victims. They don't care about the perpetrators. They don't care about the prey. Shit, half the time, they're encouraging the predator. They don't care. It's all about the money. See?
The fact that Netflix knew about leaked footage 1 month after Diddy's arrest doesn't make any sense either. The entire story is full of holes. The biggest selling point about this documentary was the unreleased footage, which Netflix somehow managed to get its hands on. But here's the thing, when this documentary was first announced, Netflix didn't even have access to that footage.
He announced he was going to be doing the documentary December 2023 with Netflix. And the star footage that you use to get people to re-upload or resubscribe to Netflix to make this the #1 in their TV shows division for almost 2 weeks straight. Beating out Stranger Things. How much stranger is that?
I'm not Beckham.
This footage didn't even exist when you said you were going to be doing this documentary. So we've got a videographer, a road videographer that has this very, very, very explosive, very explosive footage of him literally sitting on camera, planning how to go after survivors, how to poison the jury pool, how to fix his trial in advance before he's even arrested. I mean, like, is anybody not forgetting when Mark Garrett, when Mark Agnifilo was sitting there talking to the sons in the hallway, and they're sitting there filming, and he's sitting up there. Yeah, well, see, what we got to do is we got to go and we got to put countersuits on all of these people. We have to create lawsuits ourselves. He's sitting there talking about creating lawsuits to affect public perception. He's talking about that with the kids.
50 Cent, Gene Deal, and Jaguar only care about getting the truth out, which Netflix wasn't even remotely interested in. 50 did this documentary despite all the risks that came with it. Everyone in the industry is hating on 50 and calling him a rat for snitching on Diddy. Allegedly, he is even being threatened now. These industry executives want to ruin 50's image and reputation.
I tell 50 Cent, man, I hope you walking on a straight arrow, man, because they waiting to see you fall. They want to see you fall so bad, brother. I'm talking about, man, I'll be in the comments and I'll be just reading it like, oh, 50 got his day coming. Like, why y'all niggas so upset about a pedophile? Like, it's stuff that y'all niggas don't. It's so many people, right, that's victims of Puffy that can't speak, that's sitting back like, shut the f. You know what I'm saying? Like, they basically saying, you don't even know half of it. If I was to come and say my story, not me personally, but I'm saying, I've heard that 2 or 3 times. If I tell my story, but nah, I'm not trying to clout chase, I'm not trying to be a part of this, a part of that. And I'm like, hey, man.
Gene Deal said the same thing.
First baby mama started following each other on IG an hour ago. Prepare for the worst. Jay-Z, Ja Rule, Roc Nation, Desiree Perez are out to get him out of the paint. Alert. Listen here. Everybody that is said, and Desiree Perez, all them people got dirt under them, bro. You understand? All them people got dirt on their fingernails. Jay-Z got dirt in his fingernails. You understand? Jay-Z was messing with young girls from our block. Tiring them. I'm putting it out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm picking a side. Desiree, husband, was a former drug dealer that she turned on a whole cartel. All of them got dirt on them. And 50 got they dirt. You understand? 50 gonna know they dirt. Because 50 got investigators, he got people that's in the street. So if they go at him, listen here, I deem him like myself, 10 times the normal man. He gonna do what he gotta do. And the whole thing about it is they trying to retaliate on him for something he did to somebody else. I feel that it's something worth seeing is something worth coming around, because all that shit about to fall. All that shit that we seen in the industry, these demons want to have sex and turn little boys into little girls into little boys. That shit's about to go out the window, bro.
The shocking part of this prediction is that it's actually coming true. Less than a week after Gene Deal warned 50 Cent, Diddy's kids announced that they were partnering with the Zeus Network to release a documentary that focuses on Diddy's side of the story. The trailer also revealed that Diddy is going to be a part of the documentary.
Sean Diddy Combs' sons Justin and Christian are teasing a new docuseries about their family. Justin and Christian King Combs appear in a new trailer released December 28th to Instagram by Zeus Network's founder. In the trailer, Justin and Christian sit on a couch in a screening room while a series of headlines about their father cycle on screen. At the end of the trailer, Justin's phone vibrates and he answers a collect call from the Fort Dix Federal Correctional Institute, where Combs is currently behind bars. No release date for the docuseries is given, though the teaser says viewers can expect it at some point in 2026. Combs shares Justin with ex-Misa Hilton and Christian with the late Kim Porter. The rapper is also dad to 34-year-old son Quincy and daughters Chance, 19, twins Delilah and Jesse, also 19, and Love, who is 3 years old. Combs was transferred to Fort Dix from the Metropolitan Detention Center in New York in late October after he was sentenced to 50 months in prison on prostitution-related convictions.
Zeus Network has a new Diddy documentary coming out, and this time it is coming from the perspective of Diddy and his sons. All the time I thought we were about to leave Diddy in 2025. Well, this documentary is coming in 2026. And a lot of people, just like myself, are already not feeling this new documentary coming from Diddy's sons. A lot of people aren't happy about it and actually shocked that the owner of Zeus Network, Lemmy, is doing this Diddy documentary. But what a lot of people fail to forget is Lemmy and Diddy have been friends for quite some time.
Of his children arriving in court for day one of their father's trial in New York, hands gripped in solidarity.
Do you still believe your dad's innocent? How did you feel hearing that testimony? Do you apologize on behalf of your father? Do you believe your father's innocent? Do you still think your father's innocent? Your dad was up for years! Your dad was up for years for abusing women! That's wrong! You can have more!
The family, the foes, the joy, the pain, our voice, the loyalty, the betrayal, the lies, the love, the hate, the truth, the lies. And Diddy calling from Fort Dix.
This is a prepaid collect call from Federal Correctional Institution, Fort Dix.
When they released this trailer last night, there were so many comments to Lemmy and Zeus Network that they did not want to see this. A lot of people feel like this whole new documentary is just a PR narrative, once again being pushed by Diddy and his sons to try to clean up his image. And after hearing certain things on 50 Cent's Netflix documentary, we have to go back in time and remember what we were seeing during trial. Even when it came to Diddy's sons, Christian and Justin Combs, they both came on two separate occasions to trial wearing a free Sean Combs shirt. The first one to do this was Christian Combs during Jane's testimony, and you're not supposed to wear this stuff in front of a jury to try to sway their opinions. And the judge actually told him he had to leave and take it off. And then literally like a week later, Justin did the same exact thing. It was taken out of the courtroom by the judge. And we already saw the videos in the Netflix doc of Diddy talking to Justin saying he needed to push out certain content to control a narrative. During the trial, there were a lot of things going on that I could see that to me felt like it was just straight PR. Do you remember all of these people that were wearing the free Diddy shirts? And it was actually a meme coin that's on their shirt. It's money sign Diddy.
Gene saw all of this coming a mile away, and he even predicted what this documentary was going to be about. They're gonna go after 50 Cent and target his personal life. Anything and everything they can use against 50 to make him look bad, Diddy's kids are going to use it.
First of all, they're gonna try to get his baby mama stories. You know, they're gonna try to get 50 baby mama stories. They're gonna try to get girls that he probably dated, that he had problems and issues with and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna try to do the same thing they probably did to R. Kelly or Puff or whatever like that, and people tell their stories. You understand? But you know, they trying to retaliate on what he did. Let him go ahead, bruh. Cause I think he ready for it. You don't do this and you don't do the stuff that he did or sign on to the stuff that he did with Puff. Unless you got your in order. Don't throw no stone if you live in a glass house. Don't throw no stone if you live in a glass house. I believe 50 ready for it. If they come at him any kind of way.
Season 2 isn't about streaming numbers or corporate approval. It's about putting the pieces together that were deliberately left out, the names that were never mentioned, the connections that were ignored, and the questions no one wants answered. Drop a comment below. Do you think Diddy was acting alone, or is the industry protecting someone bigger?